from starting from the students of the various domain like pharma, engineering, some legal law students, some professionals, and the guide or the research guides are also there. Some startups, some research companies, some manufacturing companies, some consultant in the healthcare industry, like clinical trials and all, medical device and all. Some regulatory consultants, some IT companies are there already. Some engineering companies are also there. Some lawyers and IP law firms candidates are also here to be a part of this webinar. As also mentioned earlier, that this webinar is mainly directing towards the what are the different types of IPR and how one can utilize this IPR for the business growth as a tool. And depending on which business you are, you can identify your appropriate information from the IP and use it accordingly, and how best you can utilize that suitable for your business growth. This is the agenda of today's webinar. And before that, I just want to start with the topic of discussion that we are going to cover in today's webinar is first introduction of myself and the firm. What is the basic IPR definitions, different types of IPR, when is the right time to file your IP, and next is how to protect your IP assets, why to protect your IP, some case studies, and what you should do after finishing of this webinar. So it is, as I told you, the topic is like how to protect your IP assets. So we are not going to each and every steps of the details that how you can file the patent, how you can draft the patent, how you can serve the patent, but we will just provide you the basic information that what you should do and what you should not do. It's a very basic, because IP, different IP itself is need more than 2 hour session, right? Each and individual topic needs a different 2 hour session. So it is not possible to capture each and everything in this time. So we'll just try to touch upon the important aspects of different types of IP and how it can be helpful, when to file, how to protect, and why. The very important thing is you should be very clear before filing your IP, right? So these are the topics we are going to cover in this today's webinar. The very first is, if I introduction perspective, myself Sanjay Kumar Patel. I am currently the founder of Excellent IP. I am a registered patent and trademark attorney. Academically, I have done my B.Pharm and M.Pharm from LN College of Pharmacy. I have done my law from the MS University and PG diploma for the Narsar University. I am a registered Indian patent at Indian Patent Office in 2007. I am a member of IP Collegium Group of Japan. What is this IP Collegium? IP Collegium is a group of IPR attorneys across the Asian countries as well as some other countries of the world, and it is managed by Japan Institute for Promoting Invention and Innovation, JIPII, at the Japan. So the purpose of this group is whenever the Japanese companies want to know some IP related information of other countries, they raise their questions through this group, and which will be ultimately comes to us, and we provide them proper guidance and consultancy or the information they are looking for. So I am the member of this IP Collegium. Totally, I have a 15 years of experience in this IPR domain particularly. I am also a startup IP facilitator approved under the DIPP government. On IPR panel under the SSIP, that is a Student Startup Innovation Policy under the Gujarat government, to many colleges and the universities. I'm IPR mentor at the Atal Incubation Center, Ahmedabad, which is at the LM College of Pharmacy. I was listed as a top 100 IP leader of India in 2018 by the World IP Forum, and delivered many national as well as international conferences, mainly on the different types on the subjects of the IPR. This is my brief introduction before we start, and before you should know that who is providing the information and what is his authentication or the experience or the expertise of the subject knowledge. We will be mainly talking or interacting in the Hindi and English languages. And I would like to make you more interactive. So in between, we have kept a question answer session or interactive session where you need to put your questions or the answers, what I'm asking, into the chat box. And if you are not able to write into the chat box, just one by one unmute and mute like that. But just make sure that there is no disturbance by speaking more than two peoples on the same time. Right. So very first is what is the intellectual property rights? Now, as per your understanding or as per your knowledge, just write down into the chat box that what is intellectual property right by your definition, your interpretation, or your knowledge. We will take a very few seconds to check the answers from the people, and then we go ahead further. Please write down into the chat box that what do you understand by intellectual property rights. So now, what is intellectual property rights? Saying that anyone property developed through using one's intellect is IP. Someone has given this definition. As absolutely right that what is intellectual property? As the basic definition, if we consider, then outcome of brain is considered your intellectual. आपके दिमाग से, आपके ब्रेन से आप जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन क्रिएट करते हो, कंसेप्ट है, आइडिया है, जो भी आप क्रिएट करते हो, दैट इज योर इंटेलेक्चुअल. एंड इफ that can be owned as a property, that whole thing considered as an intellectual property. So the property which is created from your brain, from your intellectuals, which is the simple layman language can be considered as an intellectual property. Now, types of intellectual property. If on large we consider that there are different types of IPR. The mainly I have divided and we are discussing today is this four. Up there is patent, trademark, design, and a copyright. Apart from these four, there are other types of IP also. That is trade secret and geographical integration, as well as the integrated circuits and all. But we are not discussing that because in a day-to-day business or the most of the business, these four are mainly related and these four are mainly utilized. So that's why we have choose these four IP to be discussed briefly. So very first we will start with the patent, and all these things what we will do, we will just touch upon a few criteria or few main points about that particular IP. And after this session, after this slide, we will have a one question session that you need to ask the question regarding this, whatever we have discussed in this particular slide, right? So keep your questions ready. Apart from very different, not from the other topics and on this, whatever we have discussed in this slide, keep questions from that particular topic related only, and we will take 2 to 3 questions and then move forward. Also, we have a different question answer session at the last, depending on the time permissions, but we will keep it this question answer session in between also. So the very first is a patent. Patent is given to an inventor for disclosing his inventions. Patent is exclusively rights given to inventor. आपको आपकी प्रोडक्ट या प्रोसेस फ्रॉम में जब आपका इन्वेंशन क्रिएट करते हो and you disclose it to the patent office will give you the patent right. Now patent, to be a patent, your invention should be in the form of product or a process. वो एक प्रोडक्ट होना चाहिए या प्रोसेस होना चाहिए, and that is invention. पेटेंट के लिए who is eligible? So either any product or a process which is invention. Now, what are the criteria to get a patent or patentability criteria? If you consider आपको अगर पेटेंट चाहिए तो पेटेंट आपके इन्वेंशन में क्या क्राइटेरिया होना चाहिए जिसकी वजह से आपको पेटेंट मिल सकता है? तो there are the 3 criteria mean patentability criteria we can say. The first is a novelty, inventive step, and industrial application. Now, novelty means what? Novelty means आप जो भी आपका इन्वेंशन, प्रोडक्ट या प्रोसेस कह रहे हो कि ये मेरा इन्वेंशन है, उसको पहले नोवेल्टी के लिए सर्च करना पड़ता है कि भी द सेम इंफॉर्मेशन व्हाट यू आर सेइंग दैट आपका इन्वेंशन है, वो पब्लिक डोमेन में कहीं पे भी नहीं है अवेलेबल. पब्लिक डोमेन में कहीं पे भी मीन्स वर्ल्ड वाइड कोई भी कंट्री में वो इंफॉर्मेशन पब्लिक डोमेन में नहीं है, तो आपका इन्वेंशन नोवेल बनता है, अदरवाइज नॉट. इट्स लाइक दैट. इट्स नॉट कि भाई हम इंडिया में पेटेंट फाइल कर रहे हैं तो खाली इंडिया का इंफॉर्मेशन हमको चेक करना है. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. इट्स ऑलवेज एब्सोल्यूट नोवेल्टी, एंड वी नीड टू सर्च द डेटाबेस ऑफ पेटेंट एंड नॉन पेटेंट लिटरेचर डेटाबेस ऑफ द वर्ल्ड वाइड कंट्रीज, एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट वी कैन कंसिडर दैट this invention is novel or not. So that is the first criteria, novelty. Second is the inventive step. Suppose your invention, what you are saying that is invention, is not disclosed anywhere. कहीं पे भी दुनिया में वो information कहीं किसी ने disclose नहीं की है throughout the world, तो आपका invention novel हो गया. Now second step is inventive step. Same information public domain में नहीं है, लेकिन उससे सिमिलर कुछ है. समझ लो कि आपने किसी एक गाड़ी का इंजन बनाया, टू व्हीलर बाइक का एक इंजन बनाया, नया इन्वेंशन किया आपने. तो आपने इंजन के अंदर जितने भी कंपोनेंट्स यूज किए हैं वो कहीं पे भी किसी ने यूज नहीं किए, तो आपका इन्वेंशन नोवेल हो गया. लेकिन इन्वेंटिव स्टेप कैसे इवॉल्व करते हैं कि भाई इंजन ऑलरेडी पब्लिक डोमेन में है. नाउ जो पब्लिक डोमेन में इंजन है उसके कंपैरिजन में आपके इंजन में क्या डिफरेंस है, क्या मॉडिफाई किया है आपने, और वो मॉडिफिकेशन की वजह से आप ऐसा कौन सा सिग्निफिकेंट अचीवमेंट क्रिएट कर रहे हो या सिग्निफिकेंट रिजल्ट क्रिएट कर रहे हो, उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि आपका इन्वेंशन इन्वेंटिव है कि नहीं. थर्ड क्राइटेरिया इज अ इंडस्ट्रियल एप्लीकेशन. एंड इंडस्ट्रियल एप्लीकेशन इज आपका जो भी इन्वेंशन है वो इंडस्ट्री में एप्लीकेबल होना चाहिए टू मैन्युफैक्चर और द रिप्रोड्यूस. So which is a very weaker criteria, and that is always fulfilled by any inventions because it has some industrial applications. So main two criteria is the novelty and inventive step that we can decide by after performing the patent or the prior art search. वो सर्च करने के बाद ही हमको पता चलता है कि ये इन्वेंशन नोवेल है या नहीं है, इन्वेंटिव है या नहीं है, राइट. सो दीज आर द थ्री मेन क्राइटेरिया टू get or evaluate the patentability of your invention. Now next comes the timeline. What is the timeline to get a patent? Now as per India, on general way, if we can say, the time to get a patent from filing to grant is processes near about right now is 3 to 4 years. Now with the condition that it can be expedited and some certain conditions that there is a provision of doing early publications, replying timely, and reducing this timeline of the patent prosecutions. There are also recently introduced amendment into the rules for, but that is not for the all the applicants, only for the limited applicants like startups or any one female applicant is there. So there are some criteria where they can pay the extra fees and expedite their examinations. So general criteria timeline is 3 to 4 years on an approx, and it can be further expedited as per case to case basis. We can evaluate that how and at what cost it can be expedited. On if you say for the US and Europe also, the general timeline for getting a patent is in near about 2 to 2.5 years. So it's not very long. It's a normal process because it's involves so much technical information, the complex inventions which needs to be evaluated from the patent perspective and all. So that's why the timeline is longer. What protection you get in term of patent? Once you get a patent or patent granted in your name, your right is for 20 years from your patent filing date. So during these 20 years, nobody else can manufacture that product or a process without your permission. And if they do that, you can take a legal actions against them. So this is the main 4 points that we have covered for the patent. Now, next is your turn. Before that, we just go for some examples. You can see the earlier days, the phone telephone was of the model, the technology and the features were different, and you can compare the same with the current available phones and the features available into that or the technology they have, right? So this is nothing but inventions starting from earlier to the latest one. The same thing is with the light and the bulbs and all this. Another example is with the transportations. Earlier we were having that animal pulled horse cart and something, and now we have a latest car starting from now once again converting or going into the e-vehicles. So this is about the patent and some examples. Now some more examples related to the current situation that we are all are going through, that is COVID-19 or the lockdown or something, right? So these are the 3 examples, which is examples of the ventilators that people or the startups or the companies have introduced after the lockdown when there is a requirement of creating the ventilators in the huge number with the affordable price and all. So these are the some examples of the invention in terms of the ventilators. Sanitization tunnel also आपने बहुत सुना होगा recently that there is many people are coming up with the sanitization tunnels. I'm not saying that it is patentable or there are also some regulatory concerns perspective कुछ चल रहा है, but still if you are providing some innovative solution, it can be also patentable. If you the development of any vaccines, any treatment you are coming up with, or any diagnostic test for diagnosing the COVID-19 can also be a patentable subject matter. So these are the patentable examples we have looked into earlier, but this is not patentable. They are creative, they are innovative, short, but they are not patentable because they are not fulfilling the patentability criteria. So now it's your turn. Regarding this patent related information, what we have discussed in this last 4 or 5 slides, just type your questions. We will take 1 or 2 appropriate questions related to the topic and will then move forward. Please type your questions. Is anyone having any questions related to this? Yes, please write down. So we will not go to the step-by-step process of filing the patents or doing the patent search or prior search because it's a altogether different session we need to take for that. So do we have any question, another questions for the patent? Okay, then we will move forward. Just maybe we are having one question. Supposedly if someone develop a COVID-19 vaccine or some injection or some curable medicines, which is instantly taken in public domain, then that we registered it afterwards. Okay, so now to get a patent, we will also have some slide later on that. It is always advisable to file or protect your patent as early as possible. But supposedly, because of the urgency and all this, you have already kept it into the public domain because of some national urgency or emergency. You can still file a later the patent on the same thing because the Indian patent has a grace provision of grace period of the 1 year. That if although you have disclosed your inventions to the public, you yourself can also file a patent later on, but within 1 year of the time. The 1 year is a timeline that is strict. We have another question that if one patent is available and we are developing other novel items which include previously filed patent, then whether our novel products fall under the patent. Okay, good questions. So when you are getting the patents, it's not giving you the full rights because patent is a negative right. It gives you the exclusive rights to exclude others. But if your patent is covering the patented component of any other, then it is not allowing you to commercialize or the execute or the commercially exploit your inventions without taking permission of the earlier patentee. So if you are using any component which is already patented, then you need to take a license from him or you need to take a permission from him before exercising or commercializing your patent. One more question is, what if 2 different patents are filed for same aspects by 2 different persons? Okay, so as I told you earlier, answer also that whoever files first will get a patent. There is always a possibility that people are 2 different people at 2 different countries are thinking of the same invention or the same solution of any problem and may file a patent. But later on, when it goes into the examinations, whoever filed first will get a patent priority. So that's the answer to that. Whoever filed first will get a patent. Okay, now we are moving to the next IP, that is a trademark. Now trademark, what is eligible for the trademark? A name, a phrase, a logo, a symbol, and a slogan or tagline. Any this kind of things is eligible for the trademark. Now, what are the criteria to get a trademark? Your name should be non-generic, non-descriptive, and non-identical. Non-generic means your name should not be a generic. जो आप day to day लाइफ में जो जिस वर्ड का यूज कर रहे हो, जो ऑलरेडी जनरलाइज हो चुका है पब्लिक डोमेन में, या ऐसे ऐसा कोई भी वर्ड के लिए आपको ट्रेडमार्क नहीं मिल सकता, राइट, बिकॉज इट्स ऑलरेडी जनरलाइज. ट्रेडमार्क राइट्स इज दैट दैट वो पर्टिकुलर वर्ड के लिए आपको ट्रेडमार्क का राइट्स मिलता है और वो वर्ड दूसरा कोई यूज नहीं कर सकता, राइट. सो इफ इट इज अ जेनरिक वर्ड, इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल टू गिव rights to any single person or a single organization. So that's why your trademark or your name, proposed name, should not be a generic. It should not be a descriptive. Means your name should not describe any quality parameters or something or directly related to your business. Like your name should not be a quality product or even masala or super product or super soap, something like that. Means it's a descriptive, it's describing some quality features of your product or your business. So the descriptive word is also not allowed to get a trademark. It should be non-identical. Now non-identical means there is suppose there is already a brand already into the market, already a registered trademark, registered brand, and what you are using is you are just twisting that one or two alphabets, but still the pronunciation is same, and you are proposing that as your trademark. Then it is also not allowed to get a trademark on that, because it's already a deceptively similar to the existing trademark or existing registered trademark, right? So to get a trademark, or before you decide your product name or the brand name, just keep in mind these three criteria: that it should be non-generic, non-descriptive, and non-identical to the existing brand. Then only you can get a trademark. As a non-descriptive, it is for the trademark, getting the trademark. Using that word is not an issue, but getting trademark is an issue with this. Timeline, if we say that if you have properly done the search before and you do not have any objections and it directly gets accepted without any objections on the trademark office, then it can be, you can get your registered certificate within 6 months. And if there is some objection by the trademark office and there is also hearing is involved, then it can take up to 2 years to get your trademark registered. What protection you can get after the trademark is registered? The initial registered trademark is valid for the 10 years, which is further subject to the perpetuality. Means until you renew your trademark rights will be with you only. So every 10 years you need to renew your trademarks, but it can be continued to the perpetuity until आप जब तक रिन्यूअल फीस पे करते हो every 10 years, वो ट्रेडमार्क के राइट्स आपके पास रहते हैं. It's not like other IP that it has a limited period of time. So it is perpetuity. You can use your trademark rights. Just condition is that you need to renew regularly at every 10 years. So this is about the basic information, the criteria of the trademark. Now we once again have some quiz session here. We have there are most valuable brands around the world, right? So you have to just guess starting from the five in the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So for number 5, what is your guess? Which brand will fall into the number 5? Please quickly type your guess or type your answer. Which will be the type on the 5th position? Anyone, any guess, please? If you are not able to write, you can just speak. I'm saying worldwide. So forget about any Indian, no any Indian companies are there into the list. So just keep in mind only the worldwide, global.
Philips.
Oh, okay, so we are starting with the 5th one. The 5th one is on Visa, and I'm asking for the fifth position, and the valuation of this brand is 94.49 billion US dollar. It's on the fifth position. Now we are going for the 4th position. Now give your guess for the 4th position, please. 4th position. 4th position, any guess? Pepsi, no. Microsoft, Google, Amazon. Okay, we have Microsoft on the 4th position with a valuation of 251.2 billions. Now, just for information, this information is from 2019, June 2019, from this CNBC website, right? So current situation may be totally different, but on the 4th position is the Microsoft with 251.2 billion US dollar valuations. Now, third, guess for the 3rd position: Apple, Amazon, Another Apple, Amazon, Google. It's not three. It's yeah. I'm asking for the one. It's a Google with a 309.5 billion US dollar. The three are now only two to go. The second one. Guess for the second position.
Apple, Amazon.
Okay, just close because most of the are already there. So now we have very limited names. So people are very close to that. So the second is the Apple with 309 billion. I think here something different. Google or Apple are almost similar or something, just a little bit higher and lower. So now first position. First position. Already yes. Only
Amazon.
yes, only the one is remaining, and that is Amazon, right? So it's 315.15 billion. It's just for the information size. As I told you, the data is on 2019 June 2019. So it is just for your understanding that what a brand can create and what value a brand can fetch, right? So it is just a trademark. It's not like that selling the whole Amazon business in this amount. It's just selling their brand to another company who is buying that. Still, all other business, warehouse, physical properties will remain with them, right? So it's just the value of their brand. So this is the importance of brand. So now, question on trademark. We will have one or two or three questions on the trademark.
Hello, sir. My question is, suppose one has filed a trademark and that has been published in the uh, journal,
Yes.
but now due to this COVID-19, this 2 months of lockdown, so out of those 4 months of wait period, will these 2 months will be excluded or included in that?
A nice question, but still the patent office has not get clarity on this. And in this due lockdown, they are still the office work is stopped. So all online filing and all this work is still going on, but no clarity about this extension of this timeline, which is on that like 4 month operation timeline or not. Can we trademark generic word in a specific symbol logo form? Yes, it depends on the case to case. A generic word with a limitation of logo can be tried, but the chances of getting that as such is very difficult. You can add one more criteria here to get on the stronger cases. If you are using that name since very long or the since many years, you can provide the prior user affidavit with the details of the invoices and the commercial aspects of that name along with the logo, and you can try to take the trademark of that generic word with logo and with the user limitation or the prior use affidavit. And in that case can be tried, but need to evaluate from case to case basis. Yeah, this was the question. I think I answered this. Any more questions? McDonald logo is have any issue as I read. So it's MACD logo may be having some people have tried to do the deceptively similar logo, then they take the legal action because these are the big companies and they are uh, aggressively protecting the IP right in each and every country. So they are taking actions whenever they find the infringement or the violation of their IP, even a trademark or the patent or design or a copyright, any type of IP. So okay, do we have any questions or we move forward to the next? Okay, we go for the next. Next is the copyright. What is eligible to get a copyright? Any artistic or literature work, expression fixed in a tangible medium. आप कोई भी artistic या literature related work आप कुछ create करते हो. Like just for example, writing a article, writing a book, doing a photography, singing, music, paintings, all these things comes under the software or the software even software algorithm or the software coding as such. Only the software algorithm coding is also falling under the copyright registrations. Uh, Criteria is just only two. Your creation should be creative and the original. It should not be a copy from other other people's creations. It should be creative and original to get eligible for the copyright. Timeline to get a copyright registration is 1 to 2 years on an average. in India specifically. What protection you are getting once your copyright is registered is protection is for the whole life. I'm again saying that whole life of the creator, whoever created that creations, the whole life of that creator plus 60 years, the right will be applicable, right? So life plus 60 years. So this is about the copyright. Now, one exception here is apart from other IP, the copyright have one exception is that it is not mandatory to register copyright. It is not mandatory to do registration of the copyright once you create your creations in term of whatever the article, books or painting or something. By default, it is your copyright, and by default, you can write that it is your copyright. But people are doing the copyright registrations to avoid any future litigations from other companies or other people. If in future, if any dispute arises regarding the creativity or the originality of the content, then if you have registered your copyright, then you can have the evidence from the government that it is your copyright from that date, right? So that's why people are doing the registration. Otherwise, it is not mandatory to do the registration of the copyright. So these are the some famous cases we came across regarding the copyright. The Three Idiots and the Chetan Bhagat. Anu Malik and Pritam is also many times in the controversy by copying or thefting the music tones and the music lyrics and from the other movies or the Hollywood movies. And the very recent case of that copyright violation of on the Kinjal Dave, the famous singer, Gujarati singer, on the song of that Char Char Bangdi Wali Gadi, right? So these are the some examples of the copyright that we came across recently. Now, any question on copyright matter? Please raise your questions regarding the copyright information. Any question on copyright, please? Or shall we move forward? Okay, so we next move to the registered design. Industrial design, it is also named as an industrial design or the design. What is eligible to get a design registration? Any unique shape, structure, form, or aesthetic appeal of an article or object. और सो इफ आप कोई यूनिक शेप में कोई प्रोडक्ट बनाते हो, कोई स्ट्रक्चर बनाते हो और प्रोडक्ट और आर्टिकल है, तो यूनिक शेप इज एलिजिबल टू गेट रजिस्टर्ड अंडर द डिजाइन, राइट, योर इंडस्ट्रियल डिजाइन. So it is only and only protecting your outer shape of any product or aesthetic appeal of any product. It has no relation with respect to the material of composition of किससे बना है, कौन सी साइज का है, या फिर उसका फंक्शन क्या है, या फिर एंड पर्पस क्या है, राइट. Irrespective of that, design is only and only protecting the shape of the object. The criteria is again it should be a creative and original form of your creation. Timeline to get design registration is also a 1 to 2 year on an average approach into the Indian. Protection rights you are getting here is the 10 years initially once your design is registered, and you can review it further for another 5 years. So maximum 15 years you can get as a protection when you register your design. So when you have registration of your design of any project object, you can stop the people who are using the same design for the same product, or you can take a royalty by giving them license of that particular design, right? So the base, if we can go through the examples, you can get more clarity. So these are some examples which are eligible to get a design registration, right? If you see the any mineral water or the soft drink bottles of each and every company, no bottle will have the same shape of another company's, right? Each and every bottle has their own design registration, and that's the reason each company has their own unique shape of the bottle and the grooves of the bottle shape, as well as on the grooving designs of the each and every mineral water, the soft drink bottle is different. The car, any product or object which is aesthetically appeal from the outer side can be eligible for the design registration. These are the some design innovations from recent scenario. This is the hair buckle, the mask with transparent part. It is also innovation because it is a purpose for that particular mask is this is a student of a university and she has developed this mask particularly for the hearing impaired people or the people who are communicating through the lips movement, right? So if they have wear the regular mask, they are not able to communicate because they cannot see the lip movements. So that's why this student has developed a mask with a transparent where another person can see the lip movements and can communicate. So these are some examples of the design. So these are eligible to get a registered design, but this type of design is not eligible for a design registration, right? So now it's time for the questions regarding design. Okay, someone is saying that how can we get our design registration? So design registration is altogether different process that you what are the documents and the requirement or the criteria to register the design is that you need to provide the photographs or the 3D drawings of your designs from different angles, right? Top, bottom, left, right, and perspective views and all, and some formalities of the forms that you need to file up, and then need to file at the design patent office, and then it will examine and provide the objection, or if no objections they will register your design. So that's the different process altogether. And we are not going deep into the process, the whole process of filing and registration of the design. Any other questions?
Sir, I have a question regarding designs of car. Like
Yes.
all the cars, they are from the different companies, but they have a kind of shapes, similar shapes. And the cars, if we see, they are categorized in hatchback or sedan.
Yes.
So whether these car manufacturers, they are eligible to get designs of their each and every car, or they get designs of the segment.
Yeah. So in term of a car, when question of design comes, they if you see the design journals, which is published by the Design Patent or Indian Patent Office every week, you can find out that what people are registering. People are registering minimum 50 to 100 designs per automobile or the car, right? They are registering their mirror, they are registering their windshield, they are registering their steering, they are registering their headlight, bumpers, tail light, side mirror, window, the front window, back window, each and everything they are registering under the design. So whatever product or the object which is visible from outside of the car, they are registering as a design apart from the whole look of the car from the outer side, right? So it is depends on company to company how aggressively they want to protect it. And if you refer the design registration journal, you can find out that people are registering each and every part of the car, not only the one or two. If one
Thank you,
create,
sir.
yeah, if one create painting from a painting picture available online, can it be ever sued for a violation of the copyright? Yes. The question is that if one creates painting from a painting picture available online, can it be ever sued for the violation of the copyright? It can be and depends on many other criteria. That the first thing is, have you acknowledged the original creator of the painter or not? Second thing is, for what purpose you have done or you have created your painting. It is just for the educational purpose or something like that, or you are doing some commercial benefits out of it, right? So based on this different criteria, it can be decided that it can be violation of the copyright laws of the earlier creator or not. Right? Any other questions on the design? But if we make some modification, then it will be should. Okay, modification now it depends. Modification means how much modification, right? So it is a totally subjective matter, and it will be decided once any litigation happens. Now, but in the layman language, आप simple language में अगर आप कहना चाहो तो if there is a one registered design is there, and आपने उसमें कुछ modification करके नया डिजाइन बनाया, right? So now the simple question you need to ask is कि वो दोनों डिजाइन आपके सामने पड़ी है या वो दोनों प्रोडक्ट आपके सामने है, तो एज ए कंज्यूमर if they are creating the confusion between these two products, then that is the violation of the rights of the earlier IPR protector. If you are able to differentiate both design altogether different, then it is not a violation, right? So it is a subjective part, and it can be decided later on when it's any litigation or dispute happens. Okay, so now we are moving to the next part. That is, when is the right time to file, right? So can you just give your answer as per you, or as per according to you, or your experience or the knowledge or interpretation? When is the right time to file your IP? It can be any trademark, patent, design, or copyright. But what is the right time? What is the right time to file the IP? Please give your answer. Immediate when we generate novel things, yes. As early as possible, yes. As soon as the property is created, yes. So on a general, in the general tone, it's always as early as possible. But there are some situation or the some things which need to be strategized when there is some different strategies involved. Then different call need to be taken that when आपको कितना डिले करना है और कब फाइल करना है, that you need to take a different call. But on a general way, it is always as early as possible. Now, how to protect your IP asset, right? We are not just going through the whole process, but just the simple way that how to file means it is always do it yourself. No any rules or the legal stops you from doing by it yourself. You can always file any of the IP by yourself as an applicant or the inventor. There is no any requirement that you have to go through the registered patent agent or attorney. There is no any requirement as such, right? So the one option is you can do it by yourself, or you can take a help of the professional people or the patent attorneys or the patent agents. But it is always advisable to go for the consultation and take some advice before you file, right? Otherwise, if you are able or if you are able to capture each and everything about the patent search or the trademark search or the integrity or the information that you to put into the forms, the information you have to provide it, the specification draftings, each and every, if you are expert, then it is always good to go by yourselves. But otherwise, always advisable to go through the or take the consultation of the proper people, right? If you do by yourself without having the knowledge or much knowledge of the laws and the acts of that particular IP, then after focusing on that, आप उससे पहले क्या करोगे, आप आपका जो रिसर्च काम है वो साइड में रख के आप सोचने आप ट्राई करोगे पेटेंट फाइल कैसे करना है, कौन सा फॉर्म भरना है, कैसे सर्च करना है, कैसे लिखना है. इफ यू आर एबल टू डू दैट एक्सपर्टाइज, देन इट इज ऑलवेज गुड टू गो. बट आप इतना सारा मेहनत, आपका रिसर्च जो फोकस है वो डाइवर्ट करके आप इसमें डाइवर्ट हो गए, और उसके बाद भी इतना सारा मेहनत करके व्हेन यू फाइल द पेटेंट, दैट पॉसिबिलिटी दैट आप कुछ मिस्टेक करोगे या कुछ आपसे गलती हो जाएगी, राइट? सो व्हेन देयर इज ऑब्जेक्शंस कम फ्रॉम द आईपी ऑफिस, देन यू स्टक अप कि भाई अब क्या करना है. एंड एट दैट टाइम इफ यू गो टू द पेटेंट अटर्नी और एनी कंसल्टेंट, then they might not be in the position to help you, right? Because it was not filed properly on the proper way. So at that time, even a patent attorney can also helpless, right? So it is depending on the what type of IP you are filing, what information and the knowledge and expertise you have, you can accordingly decide to go further, right? Now the main part of the today's webinar, the second part is why to protect your IP. What's the reason? What do you think that why you should protect your IP? Now I need answer from your perspective that if you have some invention or if you have some intellectuals and you want to protect it, what is the reason you want to protect it? Please give me the answer. Why you want to protect your IP? What's the reason you want to protect your IP? Please type your answer. To enjoy the royalty it gives. One answer is to enjoy the royalty.
We should protect our IP so as to give it a good meaning, like for the purpose for which we have created that property, it should be, and it must be used for that purpose only. If we have developed a software which is helping people in some or the other way, but then if we have not protected our IP, and because of that someone has copied it, and he has been selling it for penny, so that will be like wastage of our all the
Effort.
efforts and mind.
Yeah. Yes. Nicely. Another answer we have is because before launching, we want to make sure the ideas or the innovation is belong to us, and having the IP gives us the kind of protection. Another is to protect our inventions, to prevent any malpractice, to increase the market value, to make it more valuable, right? So these are the absolutely you all are on the track, and these are the one of the reasons that you should protect your IP, right? So step by step, we will go through that different identity be safe from the competitors. Okay, so very first is always is protecting your intellectual, right? Why to protect? Because if after आपने इतनी सारी मेहनत करके इनोवेशन करके रिसोर्सेज पैसा टाइम यूज करके आपने जो भी रिसर्च करके प्रोडक्ट बनाया, वो प्रोडक्ट बनाने के बाद जब when you put it into the market without any protections, there is a possibility that people are just copy it and float the market with a substandard quality product at a lower price, right? And it will spoil the market. So if you do not have any protection from your side, you cannot stop them. They will spoil the market of yours. And also, second scenario is that if you have launched one product in one city, and it's got good response from the market. Now in another city or another region, people start selling the same brand name with the substandard quality, right? Now ultimately the end user is not aware about that this product is a original or a counterfeit. Ultimately because of the bad experience, उसके दिमाग में image खराब होगा वो कंपनी का, right? That belongs to you, right? So if you do not have any IP protection, you can stop such type of brand damage to your company or your product, right? So that's the reason you need to protect your IP, to protect your intellectuals from copycats and the malpractice by the other peoples, right? That's the first reason. Next is the reducing the competition. As I told you that if you are launching any product without any IP protection, then people will always ready to copy it and to float market with the substandard quality and substandard price. If you have IP, then you can reduce the competition. It's not just by saying that. This example, if you have launched the product and your product, each and every marketing material, your box, container, outer label, all mentions that patent pending or design patent pending or trademark or registered, then you are mentioning then R and saying that the trademark registered right is proprietary of this particular company and all this. So the copycat peoples are not that much technically sound and aware about this. So they can immediately stop after seeing this type of wordings and informations and the notice on the product. They will not try to copy such type of products. So ultimately you are reducing certain percentage of copycatters by just giving information that you have your IP protected in whatever the terms. It can be either patent, trademark, or design, or whatever it's applicable to your product, right? So you can reduce the competition by this way. Building the brand image or the company image. Suppose if you are using any particular product, and when you reading that box or the literature of that product, and if you find out any such thing that it is mentioned that patent pending, design patent pending, or a patent pending or registered or something, right? Don't you go to the more detail about the product to understand why they have used this patent pending, what they have done, what are the technical features, why they have done expenses to file a patent or to file a design registration, right? So it will create a different image towards that company and towards that product, towards that brand. A different perspective will be created by the end user, right? So to build your brand image and your company image, it plays a very critical role when your product is marketed with such type of informations. When it is protected with the IP, it's always a different angle has been given by the end consumers. Fetch premium price. If you have IP and if you do not have IP, you can differentiate the pricing of your products, right? Just on a lighter note, this is example. Simple Apple is at this price and Apple iPhone at this price. But it is not just examples that you can create a value in term of premium price if you have the product which is protected by any of the IP, right? So this is one example that Nexavar is a drug, sorafenib tosylate, for the kidney cancer. In India, earlier it was its costing for a 1 month treatment was 2,80,000. That was the cost for a 1 month treatment because that was the innovator and the first company holding the patent. Netco was offering the same drug in the generic form in the price of 8,800. So it's a different story that they have applied for the compulsory license and got this compulsory license approved, which is the only one compulsory license allowed by the Indian Patent Office. But that's a different story. But just want to highlight here is the difference of the price or the how premium price you can fetch through the protection of any of the IP. Different between this product, we know the price difference and all this, right? And we are paying the different price for the different product, although having the same end results and something. Now, this is one more examples of brand name is Sovaldi, drug name is Sofosbuvir tablet. It is for hepatitis C. Now, apart from pharma people, pharma participants here, I want to ask the questions to other people who are not from the pharma domain. That can you guess the price of one tablet for this product? Please guess the price of this Sovaldi one tablet. Price of the one tablet only. Apart from pharma, no pharma people is eligible to give the answer. Only the non-pharma people can give the answer. The price of one tablet of this Sovaldi brand, which is for the hepatitis C treatment, $80. Anyone else? $50. One is saying on one answer is $50. Anyone else? $80. Anyone else? $350. Anyone else? We'll take one last and then we disclose. Someone has just Googled it and given the answer. Yes. Someone has Googled and just given the answer. The answer is 1,000 USD per tablet. Yes, it's for per tablet, not for the whole bottle. So when this product was launched, it was priced with this price, 1,000 US dollar per tablet. But later on, so much government pressure and all this, they have reduced at some level. But it was the reality that this product was launched with this price, right? So this is the difference. You can see that with your invention, innovation, and research, what premium price you can fetch for your products. Bargaining power. Suppose if you are a supplier and you are supplying the product, or you are for bargaining for something, product in licensing or giving licensing to other people, and you are sitting without any IP, then in that case you do not have a bargaining power, right? Because you do not have any IP protection with you. But at the same time, if you have IP protection with you, then bargaining power is with you, because you have IP protection. If you do not provide to them, nobody else has the same product to offer them. So you have bargaining power if you have a IP protection with you. So this is the another advantage or the benefit you can capture if you have IP protection with you. Business valuations. Now, starting from startup, SME, MSME, or the big corporates, all are ultimately looking for the business valuation of their organization, right? How this IP can benefit into the business valuation is, business valuation is always bifurcated into two assets, tangible assets and intangible assets. Tangible assets like your building, your factory, your land, your furniture, the computer you have, the cash you have, the machineries, equipments, and inventory or stock inventory you have with you in your company or the organization. These all are falling into the tangible assets. And another is the intangible assets. That's where ये दोनों का सम करने से आपको आपका बिजनेस वैल्यूएशन अल्टीमेटली मिलता है. व्हाट इज फॉलिंग अंडर द इंटेंजिबल एसेट्स? Intangible assets are your patent, your trademark, your goodwill, your design registration, your copyright, your trade secrets, your business method, your client network, your brand recognition, and all this. So these are the intangible assets. Now, as the arrow indicates, the tangible assets are the assets which depreciates on time. Means the valuation of the tangible assets will go lower day by day because of the depreciation. And on another way, the valuation of the intangible assets will go up and higher as the time goes, because they are directly related or directly proportional to your business, your brand image, your market recognitions, and the time, the revenue you are generating, the turnover you are doing, and all this. So at any point of time, if you do the business valuation of any organization and you bifurcate into a tangible assets and intangible assets, the intangible assets plays a critical role to increase your valuations with less expense. Without doing much expense, it can inflate your business valuation or increase your business valuation. And increased business valuation can be utilized for many purposes, like for the funding, for giving equity dilution, or something like many purpose you can solve using the higher business valuations. So this is one exercise done in this particular article, that in 1975, the top 5 largest global companies by market cap they have identified and bifurcated that intangible assets and tangible assets. So in 1975, the top 5 companies total valuation was 715 US dollar billion. And when they have classified this valuation into a intangible assets and tangible assets, only the 17% is a intangible assets, and rest 83% was a tangible assets. Right? In 1975, the valuation of top five largest companies was bifurcated into this, like 17% intangible assets and 83% tangible assets. The same thing when they have evaluated into the 2018, identify the top 5 company with the market cap, identified their total valuations, and then bifurcated into a intangible and tangible assets. The total valuation was 25.03 trillion US dollar, and the bifurcation in term of intangible and tangible was 84% intangible assets and only 16% was a tangible assets. You can see the top companies are Apple, Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, and Facebook. And their total valuation, if you do, it's a 25 trillion US dollar, And intangible assets is valued as a 21 trillion US dollar. And tangible assets are only 4 trillion US dollar. So by that way, you can understand the importance of intangible assets to grow your business and to grow your business valuation, right? Another purpose or the benefit is look when you're looking for the finance not in term of taking a loan taking a funding from the investor, but here is the one another options. Presently it is not applicable in India, but in foreign countries you can mortgage your IP or you can take a loan based on your IP assets, right? You can mortgage your trademark, you can mortgage your patent, and bank will give you the loan. You do not need to provide any physical security of your home or car or bungalows or something like that. And it has already initiated into the India also. As per the last national IP policy, they have proposed one clause that they should allow the startups to consider that IP for the mortgage, and it is already in the discussion into the government, and sooner or later this will also applicable in India. So this is one of the another options that you can utilize through your IP assets, right? It is not currently applicable now, but in future it will be there for sure, right? So these are the some benefits why you should protect, and what are the benefits you can capture through your IP protections. So do you have any questions on this why or the benefits of protecting your IP or why you should protect your IP? If any question, please text into the chat box. Okay, we have one question. Can we have a patent for any product that is patented in any other country? Okay. So as we already discussed into a criteria of the patentability, that very first criteria is novelty. And as per definition, novelty is if it is into the public domain anywhere into the world, it is not novel. And if it is not novel, then it is not eligible to get a patent. Any other questions? Okay, so now we move to the some case studies which can give you some idea about. Yeah, government subsidies we are already covering into the upcoming slides. So just wait for till now. So let's go through some case studies. Now, are you aware about this image? Have you gone through or used the product with this kind of system mechanism? Yes, it's a ring pull can mechanisms, which is very famous and for the soft drink cans and all. So citing this example is it was first invented by one inventor, and he licensed it out to many beverages companies including Coca-Cola. And what royalty he has fetched from this the small invention. It's not a very big blockbuster invention, right? It's a very small invention. He has done some mechanism into this ring pull cap mechanism. And when it has license to Coca-Cola, it has been licensed with the 1/10 penny per can. 1/10 penny per can. But the royalty he was getting per day is 14800 UK pound per day. Every day he is getting that much money as a royalty. Do you think that that much money he has spent to invent this particular mechanism or the product and to patent it? No, because it's very small, but still a useful, right? So before that, that mechanism was not available into the market, and he has invented, patented it, and licensed it out. Then he was able to capture this benefit. The recent example, this Havmor brand has been sold to the Lotte and in amount of 1020 CR, right? So the last year's turnover of that business of the Havmor was 400 CR, and they have got the 2.5 times the value of that amount. So now that is the total amount is 1000 crore. If we bifurcate into the tangible assets and intangible assets, the ratio was 70-30. 70% valuation was going into the tangible, intangible assets, and only the 30% was for their tangible assets or their physical assets, right? So this is the value of the brand you can create through your IP. Another deal into the pharma is Reckitt Benckiser acquired the Paras Pharma. The Paras Pharma was having the very bundle or the basket of the very well-known products like Move, Ringard, Isgard, Decold, so many products which are very, very famous into the market. And that was dealt as a 8 times of its valuation. It was the Paras Pharma's last turnover of 4,400 crores. The Reckitt Benckiser has paid 3,260 crore to them. Why? Because of these brands. Because of these brands they were having into their portfolio, right? It's not like Reckitt Benckiser cannot develop these products. They can develop this product, but Paras has already established the market, have the market recognition into the market with these brand names and with these products, and because of that they have paid this much hefty amount. When उस टाइम पे मर्जर एक्विजिशन का जो सिनेरियो था, it is only for the two to three times people are paying whatever your valuation is there. People are paying only 2 to 3 times of the amount, but Paras were able to capture 8 times of their valuation just because of their IP. Another example of local Ahmedabad-based company Troika, which has beaten the innovator into the Dynapar, the diclofenac sodium injections of Novartis. And now currently, because of that IP protection and worldwide protection and the effectiveness of the product, the maximum revenue of that whole company is from the single product. The single product is fetching the maximum revenue for the company, right? So that's the benefit of IP, and that's how you can utilize it for the business growth. Another example of patent licensing by Alembic to the UCB. The molecule was the levetiracetam, which was earlier into the tablet, immediate release tablet form and solution form. Alembic has developed extended release formulations. Patent applied, filed a patent in Indian Patent Office, and the PCT application they have filed. And once it is get published into the PCT, the UCB approached Alembic for the licensing, and Alembic has licensed its patent rights. When just note that they have licensed that patent rights when it was just an application, not a granted patent. It was just an application, not yet granted. And at that time, they have licensed the patent rights with one-time milestone payment of 11 million euro plus 1-digit royalty till the patent lasts. Right. So this is the importance of how you can get the maximum benefit out of your IP. If you can say that it is all about the patent, right? So patent is always a very complex and a very valuable IP assets, and can require so much resources to develop, patent, protect, license it out, right? So it's a very lengthy process, and आप कुछ क्वेश्चन करोगे कि ये तो बहुत लंबा प्रोसेस and it is not applicable, right? So here is the case that is the ring announcer, boxing ring announcer Michael Buffer. He has initiated, he has identified, he has created this tagline, "Let's get ready to rumble." And later on, it became so famous that he has protected this tagline for himself, and then he has licensed it out. So whenever there is any program, a big title boxing matches going on, and he is announcing this title, he is eligible to get a royalty on that. And as per the 2009 valuation, the valuation of that tagline, "Let's get ready to rumble," was 400 million US dollar. He already made that 400 million US dollar in 2009, as of 2009, from just that one tagline, right? So it is not like that, to protect your IP and to license it out to IP or to royalty, to get royalty or the success, you need to do very big project or very big invention or the blockbuster invention. Then and then only you are able to get commercial or the financial benefit. This can be done with these small things also, right? Now, how to use IP in the best way? So, any comments from your side? How to use your IP in the best way? What's your answer into that? How you can use your IP based way? Any answer? Okay, so the answer is utilize as many IP as possible into your product. Identify that your product, identify the which IP is applicable to your product. Like this example, it is a bleach compositions where the unique shape of that bleach bottle can be protected under the design. The chemical composition of the bleach can be protected under the patent as a formula or the liquid composition. The brand name can be registered as a trademark, and the marketing materials and the unique way they've created with the color combination and theme can be protected under the copyright, right? So a single product protected with all four IPs, right? So that's the best use of IP to protect your IP aggressively. Another example, as I told you, that car or the automobiles, where they are taking the maximum benefits or maximum protection by the different ways of the IP and protecting each and every parts, each and every component of their products. Okay, so now as someone has asked, that what are the financial supports available for the IPR expenses, right? So currently there are few schemes and reimbursement scheme or the subsidy scheme is available for the government to encourage the IP awareness and the IP filings. The very first is it is particularly only for the MSME sectors, which is the which business are falling under the MSME can get the benefit out of it. Here they are providing, or they are rather reimbursing the cost of rupees 1 lakh for the domestic or the Indian patent, up to 5 lakh rupees for if you file the patent, if you are filed the patent into the foreign countries. Geographical indication, they are reimbursing the 2 lakh rupees, and for the trademark, they are reimbursing up to 10,000 rupees per trademark, right? The only limitation here is it is only for the organization or the company who is registered under the MSME. They are only eligible to get the benefit of this. And the second limitation is you can only apply after your trademark or patent is registered, not before that. Once it is registered, then and then only you are able to apply for the reimbursement of this amount from the MSME portal. It's a just simple online process, but you can only apply after your trademark or your patent is registered or the granted. Another scheme is the assistance for the patent registration. It is particularly for the Gujarat government, and it is open for any applicant, any patent applicant applied the patent. Here they are reimbursing the 75% of the cost you have done. 75% of the cost you have done for the patent filing, and out of that 75%, 50% they will reimburse after your patent is published, and rest 50% after your patent is granted. So these are the two criteria that currently, as per the website, it is showing that the scheme has been completed in the December 2019, but most probably it will get extended as per the information we have. So you can just check out this also. Another option for the mainly particularly for the electronic and IT related inventions and the patent, there is another scheme by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Here is the website and the link. You can go through this brochure and the guideline to get more information about the assistance or the financial reimbursement they are providing specifically for the patent filing purpose. And that is only restricted to invention related to electronic and information technology. Okay, so apart from now, regarding this IP reimbursement or the IP financing scheme, do you have any question? Then please raise your question into the text box. Then we will move forward. We already on the time. It's already 5:30, but we will try to finish it out as early as possible. So we go to the next now. What should I do? Once after getting all these informations, what you should do? This is a checklist after this webinar you can do at your end to get the benefit or to get utilize your IP. The very first thing is which IP. Identify your business and identify which IP is applicable to your business, your product. Either is a trademark only, either is a patent only, either is a design only, either it is a copyright only, or it can be a mixture of two. So the very first thing is identify which IP is applicable to your business. The second thing is ask the question that have you filed any of the IP till now? आपने आज तक कोई IP फाइल किया है पेटेंट ट्रेडमार्क कॉपीराइट या डिजाइन? Ask the question and take the answer. If your answer is yes, then check the status. Check the status of that IP you have filed. Check that is it filed into the appropriate way, appropriate class, appropriate status. What is there? Is there any timeline due? कोई timeline due हो रहा है नजदीक में? Is there any renewal fees pending? Is there any task you need to do to make it alive? Right. So check that status of your file. If you have not filed, check the reason. Ask yourself or ask the team why you have not filed. It might be possible you have some reason not to file your IP or making sometime it is keeping it a trade secret. But you should know why you have not filed your IP. And once you decide and once you go for the filing, before filing of the new IP, just clear your why. Clear your why, because you should have a clarity that why you are filing your IP. We have already discussed the benefits of IP, the why one should protect the IP. We have already discussed different parameters and the aspects why one should protect the IP. Now it is not always applicable each and every criteria to each and every business, right? So according to your business, according to your concept, according to your marketing and business strategy, you identify that for which purpose and for which benefit I am filing this IP and what I am expecting from it. That should be clear from your side before you decide to file any of the IP. Before ending the session, this is the quote of the famous innovator Steve Jobs. Innovation is the only way to win. Are you agree with this? How many of you are agree with this? Please text.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Everybody is agreeing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Now read this.
Innovation without protection is simply philanthropy.
Agree? Agree with this also?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So the first thing is innovation is the only way to go ahead to establish your business, to grow your business, right? As we have seen into the scenario of 1875 to 2018 about the business valuation change of five companies. They have shifted from tangible assets to intangible assets. Right? So if you want to grow and establish and grow on that pace, you need to focus on your intangible assets, not on your tangible assets, right? So this is the message I just want to know. No, so innovation is the only way to success, but if you do not protect your innovation, there is no meaning of that. It's just a charity, just a social service, nothing else. If you are okay with that, then it's fine. There are so many social startups. Their purpose is not to make money, just to for the helping the society. But then it's fine. There is no any wrong in doing that. That is also fine. But you should clear that for what purpose you are doing business and for what purpose you are protecting your rights. Lastly, just a request from Extron IPN from personally myself. Try to try to help each one from around you, which are who are poor, who are having some problem, having stuck up. It can be a financial, it can be a moral, it can be a just any other food kind of things. Just try to reach, try to help at least one people around you. Last, stay home, stay safe. Lastly, don't forget to follow and share your feedback, review on any of our social media page about this webinar. And if you have any other particular question and the queries, you can always discuss to this number, the email ID. And please still take some questions for 10 minutes. So if you have any particular questions related to today's agenda or today's discussion, then raise the questions in the text box. Okay, the question is how to know whether any IP is present already for our product or not. So for that, as I told you that we need to perform the prior art search. Prior art search is the exercise where we perform that. After the first thing is we identify what is the information, and then according to that, we find it out that is there any similar inventions already filed by someone else or not. It is there in the public domain or not. And based on that, we will check that the same information, the same product or the same patent is already there or not. So to do that, we need to perform the prior art search. Any other question?
Sir, I have a question. Like in today's scenario where everything is online,
Yes.
so in the even some websites have started registering IP through online services. Like as an online services, they offer registration of trademarks in just a meager amount of 6,000 rupees or something like that. So, what is your view? What are your views on it?
Yeah, so there are so many such online versions are available that you can say that you can file your trademark with a very minor or the very small amount. But when you see the background of this, because they are not from the IP core IP backgrounds, what they are doing is they are just providing a platform. Once you enroll for that, they will pass on that activities to some freelancers or some to freshers and all this to carry out that activity. That's why their cost is very down. Second thing is they do not do proper due diligence or the proper trademark search before filing, right? Second thing is it is just for the cost for the filing, not for the later on reply of the objection and the attending the hearing, right? So that's the reason. If you end up with filing, if you are lucky, then it might be possible your trademark go through with the same that amount. But if it is not, then you need to stuck up. Once we go for the objection reply, they demand the higher charges, and sometimes you are stuck up with that. You already started your business, and later on you came to know that the same name is already registered by someone else in your business, and now after 1 year you came to know that you cannot get the trademark of that name, as well as there is a possibility that the registered trademark applicant may send you the notice to stop your business. So these are the pros and cons for the same. Another question is herbal product or herbal formula process patentable? Uh, Both the thing is patentable unless the first criteria we need to follow is novelty, inventiveness, and the industrial application. Herbal thing, when the herbal product is coming, there are two main criteria we are facing from the patent offices. The very first thing is it is a single constituent or the mixture of constituent. If it is a single constituent, that is also it is already available. Herbal plant is already available into the existing nature. So it is not a invention, but you have discovered. Now, if you have created a product out of it using some different innovative process or using some different other ingredients, then you need to prove that because of this formulation or because of this process, you are getting significantly higher result in terms of the efficacy or something like that, that you need to prove to get your product patentable if it is containing the herbal ingredients. Any other questions?
So, sir, as you said that we need to do a prior research and study for knowing earlier patents. So, how to do that? Because as I have searched earlier, we are not able to get information about the earlier patent. So, how to do that?
Yeah, there are so many free databases available. Like Google search is there, US patent website, ASPASnet website, World WIPO patent website. But that are the database. You need to first get acquainted yourself about searching the patent. How you can do the perfect searching and identify that no patent is missed from this database, because database is there, but it depends on how you are searching, what keyword you are searching, in which title, in which abstract, in claim, where you are searching, that depends on that. And that patent search is a once again a different skill that you need to acquire before you perform the perfect patent search.
So, is there any specific site or like?
If you Google, there are so many some online sessions or some videos are available that you can make you understand that how you can search the patent. But it is always you can get a mastery once you do practical practicing on that. Just by seeing video or reading the books, it's not going to help much.
Okay.
Any other questions? We'll take one more question and then we'll close the session, as we already exceeded the time.
Sir, I am facing a difficulty in one of the objections I have received. Can I
Yeah,
about that?
you can just reach to individually, because it's not general question expecting here, not the specific one.
Okay.
You can reach me by phone or the mail later on.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah. Any other questions? We will take one last question. Okay, so I think no more questions. And once again, I would like to thank you for sparing this time and be available for this webinar. Just follow our social media page and put a comments and a feedback. And we will coming up with more particular specific topic wise webinars or the short information kind of videos to make you aware about this IP, different kinds of IPs and all, right? If you have any suggestion about the topics, you can also share with that also, right? So once again, this is Sanjay Kumar Patel from Excellon IP, and thank you all. Thank you for being present.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.